Hey everybody, welcome back to Leaders Lead. This is Zach Husted. I'm here with Matt Butler. We're doing episode 5 out of 5. It did
Five.
number five alive. Matt is got 20 years of experience in the military. He flew some of the coolest planes in the sky, or one of the coolest. I mean, it didn't go as fast as a fighter jet, but I'll tell you what, the mission that it served and how it interacted to support the other troops is absolutely phenomenal. Matt, thanks for being here.
Hey, I appreciate you having me on. We've had some great conversations in our previous four podcasts, and I love each one of them. This one's going to be just as good as well. So appreciate you giving me a forum and a means to talk about things that are really near and dear to my heart. So thanks again.
Yep, you bet.
OSU in Stillwater, Texas, has a veteran. Um, It's called Veteran Entrepreneurship, VEP. They have a boot camp that is also 8 or 9 days. They pay for the travel, they pay for your food, they pay for the hotel, and it's free education that's out there. Um, Misty used to be Stutzman, it's now Fox. Misty Fox is the director of IVMF and military relations. She is 100% well worth having on the podcast as well. I can do an email introduction. She
That'd
was
be great.
uh, she was at the VEP program at OSU because she graduated from OSU, and then she came over to IVMF, who was started by Dr. Mark Haney, who's also an Air Force veteran. And Misty said, Matt, I know that you're on your journey with well, I know that you're well established with rollers and other things you're doing, but you need to come and take a look at IVMF and all the different programs that they have ongoing, especially their boot camp that they have for 9 days. And so I also went through their boot camp, which was phenomenal. It was taught at FSU, but they have it at locations all around the U.S. They have a annual conference called Edge. They have it in Dallas every year. It's in March. You can look up IVMF Edge. And here's the great thing about it. It used to be $150, and you pay for your own travel to the location, you pay $150. But here's what you get for that is they pay for 4 nights hotel, they pay for all your food, you have all the conference speakers that are there. It's phenomenal. It's worth thousands of dollars. I mean, a hotel that they have downtown Dallas is not even $150, and they're paying for you 4 nights. Um, but now they moved it up to 250. Not that they're trying to do it for the money, they're doing it because they would get people that would reserve it, pay 150, and then wouldn't go, and then that would kind of screw them over in a way because they would have all these reservations that people didn't attend, and so it kind of messes them up. So they upped it a little bit because of that, but you get so much in return. The speakers they've had there are they had Matt Griff from Combat Flip Flops. They had Larry Broughton, who's a Green Beret. He started a boutique hotel, has different boutique hotels. One time, they even brought President Bush there. It was a last minute speaker that they brought in there. Um, it was kind of funny because I was talking to the Walmart buyers in a separate room that are one of the sponsors of Edge and IVMF. And one of the folks from IVMF came in the room and said, "Hey, Matt, you need to cut this short. Your meeting. You need to get back in the conference room." And I said, "Why?" And they were like in this big rush. And I walk downstairs and I'm getting closer to the conference room door as I see some folks that are literally in black suits with earpieces. And you can see it kind of dangling out going to a recorder. And I'm like, that's got to be Secret Service. And then instantaneously, I'm like, President Bush, he lives in the area. He's got to be here. And he comes up on stage because the Secret Service had to shut down and put a security perimeter around what they could. It's kind of last minute too because they didn't want people to know ahead of time that he was going to be there for security measures. But he came there and talked to us, and I'm like, wow, that's just amazing that from a former president that he's taking the time to talk to business veterans and spouses into ownership, that that's worth his time to speak with people. And so I'm like, gosh, you really have, so many people that are backing the things that we're doing. So that's
Yeah.
another great thing.
Yeah, the nonprofit I give back to from my company. I mean, it's small at this moment, but that I started, so I own Pillars of Valor, and I give 7% of everything I make top line revenue right now to Minnesota Military Appreciation Fund, and their sole purpose, their sole value, is to give grants to Minnesota service members or people from Minnesota who've served in the combat zone, which you, my friend, are one, and you should
Yeah.
apply for this. It's a free
Yeah.
grant
Okay.
to say thank you, and I'll send you the information. It's
Yeah,
actually
please
on my
do.
website. Um, it's on my website. You can. Oh, it's not on this one yet. I'll send you the information. Free grant. Um, to say thank you. And our keynote speaker this last September was General Nakasone,
Yeah.
and there's fun stories about that one. But I went up to his security guys and I'm like, hey, and I introduced myself. I shook all their hands. I'm like, I'm Zach Husted. Like, you're not supposed to do that.
Yeah.
But I panicked. I didn't know
Yeah,
what to
yeah,
do.
right.
I'm like, and I had a guy with me who, one of my buddies, and he's a chatty dude, way chattier than me. And this I went to the big burly dude, and they're like, yeah, we call him the body mover. And I'm like, oh, I can see
Yeah.
that. I'm like, hey, you need to watch out for my buddy here. He's kind of squirrely.
Yeah.
And they all like, it was super funny. And then we had Major Katie Lunning with us. I don't know if you know, at that event too, to speak. She was part of the crew that got Distinguished Flying Cross
Ah,
for their
okay. Yeah, yeah.
efforts. Yep. Yeah. So
That's awesome.
she is going to be aired on my podcast in either next week or the week after.
I love it. That's awesome.
So,
Yeah.
all
No,
right.
I mean, there's so much, again, just you and I talking. I mean, I didn't know about that grant. I didn't know about that. I didn't, you know what I mean? There is so much that's out there that we don't know that's out there. And whatever, we put our two heads and other people that go on here, and you create a running page of resources. There's gonna be more out there that we're not gonna know. I mean, there's a lot out there, and I love that everyone's trying to do. They want to serve and they want to do what they can to help out. I've seen some veteran-oriented nonprofits go out of business because you still need to have money to run your nonprofit. That's the lifeblood of a for-profit or a nonprofit, and they
Yep.
might have got a grant and then they didn't get a follow-on grant, or maybe their charity didn't
Hmm.
work as well, and so they go away. But I've seen a few of them where they've gone to established entities that we've talked about, like IBMF or Warrior Rising, and they will say, I've got this platform I created, would this be of use for you? And then they will try and incorporate it into what they're doing. So it's almost like building blocks, a little bit of Legos. It's just not working for them individually. They're different. They maybe are doing something different in the world, so they offload it. But I think that's great that there's so many people that are trying to better veteran-owned businesses, just businesses in general.
Yeah. It totally cool. Hey, let's mix up number 5 a little bit
Sure.
on the fly, because we've talked a lot about
Yep.
boots to business already.
Yep.
Um, how would you like to change question number 5?
Let's see.
Can I just ask you, what's the most rewarding aspect of your role and what you do to support veterans?
It's funny you asked that because I was just in Germany at Ramstein, and I taught a Boots to Business course over there. And I had somebody ask me verbatim that question. And the answer to that is um, I want to see everyone succeed. Just in general, just my nature is I want people to succeed. But when it comes to somebody that's stepping out of their comfort zone to be an entrepreneur, I want to help them succeed because I know the challenges associated with that. And then if you put together somebody that wants to be an entrepreneur or business owner and they're a veteran or a spouse, I will bend over backwards for them. And so my passions fed off of seeing a business created and grow and thrive and do well. And I've seen folks from a few years ago when I first started teaching Boots to Business that have done well in business, that have either acquired a business or a franchise or a product. And, I love to be a cheerleader for them and see them. It's kind of like I used to get a lot of energy out of rollers when I would see a purchase come through. It's always nice when you see the money come in, and I'd get a big purchase order from someone and you see a check and it goes into the bank account. You're like, holy smokes, that's a lot of money that I just put in there. I still get enjoyment out of that, but I get enjoyment out of it because I do the same thing which you're doing when you're donating money, except that what I do is I donate product. I've given away tens of thousands of dollars of rollers games. I have never denied any veteran or first responder or teacher, charity, or organization. I'll give away rollers games like mad to anyone that's going to use it. It's part of my marketing plan, but it's part of me giving back to them because if I give them money, I don't necessarily know how it's going to be used. But if I know that I can make a win-win, meaning I can get a little bit of marketing of the product that's out there that's going to raise the money, and then they're going to use that, afterwards for whatever they're doing with the charity. That, in a way, I think helps everybody out. And so the money I make goes back into a lot of charity events. I mean, if you think about it, I could just pocket the tens of thousands of dollars and buy a new Tundra, buy a new car, I mean, I can buy it right now. But the thing is, I get enjoyment out of that. I get enjoyment out of when I get a thank you card in the mail that says, thank you so much for your donation. You raised $500 or $100. I get so much more passion out of that. I get so much more passion when I see a new review on Amazon or on the website that says, this is a great product, or we had a great family reunion and brought this out and it was a huge hit. You know what? I'd take that over a sale of the game any day because it's just so much more rewarding to know that I took a creation out of my mind, put it on a retail shelf, and somebody actually got enjoyment out of that. That's hard to even describe. That's why I do it.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
I get it. Um, I'm a big, yeah, I think you're learning this about me, but I'm a big pay it forward dude. And um, those moments, that's what it's all about, right?
Right.
Having those moments and like, yeah, you got to pay the bills, you got to do all those things, but that's the outcome.
Hmm.
Um, I'm doing it for like, I do what I do, um, because I seek the energy and the enjoyment of lifting others up. So I'm doing this. Like, this is, I don't get paid for any of this.
Right.
Like, I, I'm not looking for any of that. Like, nope, this is Zach doing investing. Like, look, there's three things you can do: time, talent, or treasure.
Yep.
I'm investing my time and talent into giving back to a community I love and that I'm passionate about. And I think there's an untold story here. And, many people tell it, but not the way that I think it should be told. That's why I'm doing it. Um, and so I get it. And every time I do one of these, I get goosebumps. I literally get goosebumps because I believe it's on the right path,
Right.
and it's exactly what you just described. It's that energy that is infectious.
Hmm.
It that's the reward for me. It's not like this isn't going to put money in the bank. This
Right.
isn't going to pay for the next thing. But I'll tell you what it is doing. It's it's going to create an ecosystem. It may take a while. but it's going to take
Right.
it's going to create an ecosystem that people are going to want to understand and be connected with and know about, and it's going to add value. And I'll tell you what it's also doing is teaching my kids, because they see me doing this, and they're starting to ask questions and they're starting to learn about it. And um, to me, it's I as much as it is just sitting in front of a computer and talking, like they see me sitting in front of a computer and talking to something.
Right.
Um, but they hear what I'm talking about. They hear the questions I'm asking, and then they ask me questions about it. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
And my son here, I'll just share this with you. My son, he's 10, and he's like, Dad, can you show me what you just did after
Hmm.
one of the last podcasts? I'm like, you want to see it?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, come on over. And I was editing something, and he's like, what are you doing? And like, I actually, like, he was authentically excited about it. So I started showing him like the video editing software, right? Because I don't have anybody else helping me, and I'm learning that too as I do this, right? So
Right. Right.
I'm keeping my own skills relevant as I do this.
Yep.
My first video I edited took me 9 hours.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't know how to do it.
Right.
I like I picked the most complicated software to start and the most complicated platform to
Yeah.
do it. So, um, but it was fun. Like that moment I wouldn't have got otherwise. And those are kind of fun moments along the way. And I'm also getting a front seat MBA in leadership with every one of these interviews I get
Oh yeah, I'm sure
with
you
yourself,
are for sure.
and I love it. And it's every one of them is super rewarding for me. So I thank you for that. Um, and hey, what can we do to lift you up, Matt?
Gosh, this is number 5 of what we can do, and I love it. I love all the different ones that we can do. Um, any way that we can continually to share this information, especially for you, because I love the platform that you've created. I've loved our dialogue and interaction that we've had because we've both learned from each other. I'm hoping other people out there are learning from it. You know, one of the 5 episodes that we have here, to favorite it on their podcast, listen to who else that you have coming back on, because you talked to me about some of the speakers you have that are coming on, which are really awesome. And adding to it, using this as something to reach out to myself or you, Zach, through their free LinkedIn premium that we keep talking about, using all these free resources, but reaching out and saying, hey, did you even know about this grant going on? So one of the things I do on LinkedIn is I'm always reposting, grant and business winners and things that are going to help people out. So here's my ask is, pay it forward. I know I just said a lot of words, but really summarize it of just pay it forward and contribute to this ecosphere. If that's through adding a new website, a new resource, if that's being a podcast or recommending a podcast, if that is buying a veteran or spouse owned product, um, do something of good and just pay it forward to somebody else that's out there. It could be as small as opening the door for somebody that needs the door open for them, but that will feed you energy and positivity just for doing the right thing for other people. So I hope you just do good today.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, you heard it. Um, Matt Butler, he's a guy that is committed to continue to serve, even though he doesn't don the uniform anymore. He's flying different brands, but he's got the heart of the red, white, and blue. He's uniting the veteran community. He's leading by example and teaching people how to be successful, um, regardless if they were a veteran or not. And he's lifting up people. So let's do that. Let's pay it forward. Let's continue to be beacons in the community to lift up others. Everybody, this is Zach Husted. I have Matt Butler here with me. Matt, it's been an absolute honor. This has been one heck of a podcast series and just super rad. I'm honored, absolutely honored to have you uh, part of my ecosystem of people I know now, and got a chance to talk to and learn from. Right. Thanks for being here.
I appreciate you having me on. We had a great morning. This was great. I'm appreciate you reached out. You reached out to me on LinkedIn. We're connected on there, and so I'm so glad that you did. I'm so glad we got time to learn and chat with each other and stay in touch as fellow Minnesotans and veterans, especially Air Force. So I appreciate you. This was great. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you bet. Hey, everybody, this is Leaders Lead. That was episode number 5 out of 5 with Matt Butler. Thank you so much for tuning in. Everybody,
Thank
have a
you.
great day. Bye. I don't know how you do that.